Good afternoon, everyone. What I don't like about this room is there's no Olive Garden here today. Actually, that's not true. I'm perfectly fine without Olive Garden. We're going to go ahead and get this House Education Committee voting meeting to started. Usual rules apply, folks. If you're joining us online, please mute your camera. I don't see anybody. And if you're joining us here, please mute any of your cell phone devices. We're going to go ahead and call roll. Tom?
Chairman Schweier.
Here.
Representative Abney.
Designation?
Representative Cerisi.
Designation?
Representative Curry. Here. Representative Friel. Here. Representative Isaacson. Here. Representative Kazim. Representative Nelson. Here. Representative Probst. Here. Representative Prokopiak. Here. Representative Razi.
By designation?
Representative Smith-Waddell.
Designation?
Representative Takak.
Designation?
Representative Young. Here. Chairman Topper.
Here.
Representative Cooper.
Designation.
Representative Diorsi. Here. Representative Gleim.
Here.
Representative McKenzie.
Designation.
Representative McCurry.
Designation.
Representative Ortitai.
Designation.
Representative Schlegel. Representative Shalaba.
Designation.
Representative Stats.
Designation.
Representative Watro.
Present.
Quorum is present.
Thank you, sir. We're going to go ahead and move forward on House Bill 481 by Chair Solomon. While he's coming up to the front, I would like to, is there a motion to consider? Motion by Representative Kazim. Is there a second? Representative Schlegel. Thank you very much. I know we're going to have an amendment to it, but sir, I'd like to turn it over to you first.
Thank you, Chairman Schweier. I really appreciate the opportunity. Thank you to Chairman Topper. I want to talk to you all about this piece of legislation called What is Your Pennsylvania Story? So I grew up in Northeast Philly, and I was raised by my single mom above my great-grandparents' butcher shop, kosher butcher shop in the Northeast. Now, they came to Northeast Philadelphia escaping religious persecution during the pogroms. They came here from Russia. Now, when they came to Northeast Philadelphia to start their business and raise a family, they faced anti-Semitism, and it was hard for them to really weave into the culture of Northeast Philadelphia because at the time, the Northeast was mostly German and Irish. So there was sort of a conflict between the generations that had been there and my great-grandparents. As my mom raised me in the neighborhood changed. It's became the most diverse community in Pennsylvania. Right now, the Brazilian and Chinese American community there are the fastest growing Chinese and Brazilian communities in our Commonwealth. That story, which is part of my story, which is part of Northeast Philadelphia's story, I think is really important as we move to 2026. Which is the 250th birthday of the United States. Because that story, just like you have your stories in your community, really helps to showcase the civic fabric of our Commonwealth. Because all of those stories woven together allow us to demonstrate our best, not only to the rest of the states in the nation, but the rest of the world that will be descending upon Pennsylvania in 2026. We have a great vehicle to get this done. Act 70 of 2014, which now exists in 93% of schools across the Commonwealth, will provide for a vehicle where we can provide continuing education to teachers to allow for the option of connecting students through their unique Pennsylvania story and how it weaves into the Pennsylvania and U.S. experience. We hope that this provides a real foundation for people to come together as we approach 2026. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir. Now, there is an amendment that I will be offering, Amendment 5220, that I'll make a motion. Is there a second? Thank you, Representative Probst. Aaron, will you describe the amendment, please?
Yes, this amendment would permit the Department of Education to develop the professional development course pending funding from the General Assembly. It updates the date that the department must submit a report on the status of the professional development course and instruction to July 31st, 2025, and other technical changes.
Thank you. Are there any questions or comments only on the amendment? Seeing none. There are no objections from the Democrats. All Democrats will be yes on Amendment 5220.
All Republicans will be yes on the amendment.
Thank you. Now, questions or comments on the bill as amended? Representative Gleim?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and I want to thank the maker of the bill and had some discussions with him on the legislation. I let him know that I'm old enough to remember the bicentennial during school and all the things that we did during the bicentennial. And I like the ancestry discussion in particular. I don't know all that PA 250 is doing, but I understand the story part of it. I do think that the legislation is somewhat broad, so I will be offering an agreed-to amendment, only an agreed-to amendment on the floor. So thank you.
Thank you. You have a remarkable memory from pre-K. Thank you, ma'am. Chair Topper.
Somebody's trying to get votes. Yeah, I too want to thank the prime sponsor. I have had the privilege of visiting with Representative Solomon in his district and having dinner actually with that mom who raised him, and truly appreciate him being willing to work on the language to make sure that this is something that we can all support, as it is an important initiative moving forward. So we'll be voting yes, and thank you.
Thank you, and I echo everybody's sentiments. I will say this very quickly. I think we've genuinely tried to work and hear as many different sides of and concerns as possible. Chair Solomon, you did an incredible job working with members on both sides of the aisle to get to this good place. When we get to the floor, ma'am, I will be supporting your amendment as an agreed-to amendment as well, and we'll encourage everybody on that floor amendment to support it. So, with that, are there any further comment on the bill as amended? Seeing none, all Democrats will be a yes.
As will the Republicans. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much.
Moving forward, House Bill 1293, sponsored by Representative Mera. Is there a motion to bring it up? Representative Isaacson, is there a second? Representative Young, thank you. I will say before we move forward on the bill, there was going to be an amendment that I was offering in conversation, in consultation with Chair Topper. We're going to try to tinker with that amendment a little bit and offer it on the floor, so we'll no longer be offering that amendment in committee. We are trying to get the bill to a place that folks can feel more comfortable with, so I will not be offering that amendment. So the bill, as currently offered, we are still going to consider it right now, and Aaron, if you'd be so kind as to describe the bill.
This is House Bill 1293 by Representative or Chair O'Mara. It amends the public school code and safe schools and requires policies relating to bullying to include mechanisms to notify parents and legal guardians of school children involved in a bullying incident.
Thank you. And I was remiss, both Representative Abney and Representative Takak have joined us, and they'll no longer be voting by designation. Are there comments on House Bill 1293? Chair Topper.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I want to compliment the maker. This is something that I believe has drawn quite a bit of bipartisan support, the idea of parental notification in our schools. We believe that whatever it could be a guardian situation, it could be grandparents, it could be parents, single parents, two parents, whatever the case may be, as active as they can be and as knowledgeable as they can be about their child's education and what is going on within the school, we believe is a positive. We want to see that continue. We believe that is the intent of the bill, and I will be supporting it. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Are there any, Representative Curry?
Thank you, Chairman. I really like this notification because I think there needs to be continued communication within the schools. I just have some other questions about how it extends once the parents are notified. In certain situations, I think that children also need to be protected once other parents know about a bullying situation. And so I really like to know how this looks, in the code and what that looks like. I don't know if I need to talk to the maker of the bill.
That is the very crux of what we're working on right now, actually. I don't want to speak for our Republican chair. The amendment had several components to it that I was going to offer. One of them was privacy issues via FERPA. That is something I think we can get to. Well, I don't want to, we're not negotiating publicly. It's something that I'm concerned about. I'm also concerned about cyberbullying, but the notification issues and some others, we're not quite there on a language, so we can have that conversation offline, but it's, that concern is shared. So but in an effort to try to get to a bipartisan agreement, we're just holding off the amendment and try to do something on the floor.
Okay, thank you very
Thank you,
much.
ma'am. Any other questions or comments? Representative Schlegel.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I have to admit, when I first saw this bill, I was surprised that this is not already in statute, because it would seem to me that this would be standard operating procedure for any educator or any school leader who is involved in dealing with bullying situations, that one would notify not only the parent of the child that has been investigated and is found to have been bullied, but also the parents of the student that is involved in bullying. And I would certainly agree with what has been said, but I'm kind of curious, is the motivation behind this bill the fact that parent notification is currently not in statute, or is it a belief that it's not being done across the board in our Commonwealth?
So as of right now, thank you for that question, sir. As of right now, school districts have the option to do this. This would take away that option. So there are certain school districts that have MOUs with their police department, with other organizations. They have their own bullying policy. This takes that optional point away from from school districts, sir.
Well, thank you, Mr. Chairman, for clarifying. Although, again, I will reiterate my position that it should be standard operating procedure for all school leaders who are involved in these kinds of situations to be notifying the parents, letting them know that bullying is not acceptable, what has happened, and what the school leader is going to do to make sure it does not continue. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Are there any other questions or comments on House Bill 1293 as it's currently written? Seeing none, all Democrats will be a yes on it.
As will all the Republicans.
Thank you very much. Next up, we'll do Senate Bill 700, and then we'll move to Senate Bill 460. Is there a motion to consider Senate Bill 700 by Senator Brooks? Thank you, Representative Takak. Is there a second? Representative Probst. Thank you, ma'am. Aaron, will you explain Senate Bill 700?
Yes, this is Senate Bill 700 by Senator Brooks. This legislation streamlines the requirements for individuals who obtain career and technical instructional certificates.
Thank you. Are there any questions or comments on this bill? Representative Schlegel?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. As I read the bill, I see the notation for career and technical instructional 1. And I'm just wondering if maybe time has passed me by that is the current wording of that particular certification, or if vocational 1 and vocational 2 are not the appropriate certifications for teachers at career and technology centers.
Sir, I'll just say, in the spirit of the previous joke earlier, I would never say time has passed you by, good sir. But yeah, that is the current language, sir.
Thank you.
Yes, sir. Representative Probst.
I just want to say thank you to the maker of the bill. Last week, well, it wasn't last week, we were here, the week before, prior to, my local MCTI came to me with issues. We already know there's a teacher shortage, and it's especially short there, so I think this is a great bill, and I just wanted to say thank you to the maker of the bill.
Thank you, ma'am. Chair Topper?
Yeah, I too would like to say this is something that has been worked on actually for a couple sessions. We've been working towards the process of making sure we have qualified CTE instructors. This has been something that has been brought to us. We know that we have a workforce shortage throughout Pennsylvania, and this is a need that helps address the workforce shortage and that specific workforce shortage in our classrooms. I'm happy to support this legislation. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Echo everybody's sentiments. This is a bill that, candidly, we had been trying to get to a good place on. I think it's a really important legislation, as all of us look to do more work with career and tech education just last week. I think it was last week. I don't know. Time's a flat circle at this point in time, but we started moving a process forward on studying it further, continuing to try to get more funding into career and tech ed. I think this is an area of real bipartisan support, and I'm going to ask for an affirmative vote. Are there any other questions or comments? Seeing none, I'll take a roll call, or I'll take a vote. All Democrats will be a yes.
All Republicans as well.
Thank you, sir. And last but not least, and brand new to the agenda, I'd like to thank members on both sides of the aisle for their flexibility on this one, on me calling up a bill. This is Senate Bill 460, sponsored by Senator Barletta. Is there a motion to bring it up? Thank you, Representative Friel. Is there a second? Representative Kazim, thank you, ma'am. And Aaron, will you please explain the bill?
Yes, this is Senate Bill 460 by Senator Bartolotta. This bill establishes the Child Reunification Program, which requires schools to provide child identification DNA kits for families to keep at home in the event the child goes missing.
Thank you, ma'am. Before I open it up to questions and comments, I'm just going to say for the record that I do have some reservations about this bill, although I am going to support it in the interest of working in good faith with the Senate and with an expectation, or at least a hope, that we're able to get an agreement on amendment on the floor to move this from the proverbial shall to may a change, which makes it an optional thing for school districts. We're not there yet, but again, in the interest of trying to move stuff forward and working in good faith with our friends and colleagues from the Senate, I'm going to be a yes on this bill as it currently is written, at least for the committee. Chair, do you have anything? Are there any other questions or comments? Seeing none, we will take a roll call on this one.
Chairman Schweier.
Yes.
Representative Abney. Representative Cerisi.
Designation, yes.
Representative Curry. Representative Friel. Representative Isaacson. Representative Kazim. Representative Nelson. Representative Probst. Representative Prokopiak. Representative Razi.
Yes by designation.
Representative Smith-Waddell.
Yes by designation.
Representative Takak. Yes. Representative Young. Chairman Topper.
Yes.
Representative Cooper.
Yes by designation.
Representative Diorsi. Representative Gleim. Representative McKenzie.
Yes by designation.
Representative McCurry.
Yes by designation.
Representative Ortitai.
Yes by designation.
Representative Schlegel. Representative Shalaba.
Yes by designation.
Representative Stats.
Yes by designation.
Representative Watrow. Yes. The yeas are 23, the nays are 2.
Thank you very much. Seeing that there is no further business pending before the committee for now, I'd like to thank everybody for their flexibility, and this meeting is adjourned. Have a good rest of your day, and we'll see you on the floor.